conscious business is, the same way people can awaken, people can become conscious to the reality they live in, what's really operating inside them, what are the mechanisms and the systems that are operating inside your body, how does your mind operate, your body, your spirit, your soul, your heart, how are you creating connections and relationships? A person can become aware of all those elements. That is a personal individual awakening. The same way a business is called right now to have an awakening. Now, let me explain how do I do that, and what are some of the approaches that I'm introducing with my colleagues to businesses and to leaders.
Yeah, please, because I think business seems to be about making money and not spreading awareness. So
that's right.
How do you deal with that?
That's great. So the first step when we come in and we are awakening a business to understand what's the value system that it's operating from, what is the leadership believing in. So we start with the leadership. We go from the CEO to the CFO to the different executive, and having a dialogue, having an exploration with them. We don't come in telling them what to do. This is not the approach of conscious evolution. So if we're talking here about conscious evolution, the key element of conscious evolution is emergence. It's emerging. And it's emerging in this conversation right now. It's emerging when a garden is flourishing and growing. And it's emerging with a business dialogue with the executives there. So we come in and have a conversation. We start putting questions on the table. What is consciousness? What is reality? What is the difference between your thoughts and how do your thoughts create your reality? We start bringing all those questions into their awareness. And then we have a dialogue. Now, I have to tell you, looking at the research, we've done research for over 250 companies. The most powerful companies that have the most consciousness and want to contribute the most are the ones that their leaders went through a major awakening. Sometimes the leaders themselves go through an awakening because of a life crisis, because of a book they read, because of an epiphany or a big insight that they had. But it starts with the leadership. So to answer your question, this is how we start. Once the leader realizes, oh my God, we're living in a beautiful world that is all interconnected, and we have all those beautiful employees and partners and products and the planet that we want to take care of, then the question is, what is the strategy that they need to bring in? And again, it's all a conversation. We come in with some guideline, with some relevant questions and relevant framework, but we don't tell those organizations how to become conscious. It's like you, Alan, when you were 15 or 16 and you had all those awakening, nobody came to you and say, hey, Alan, don't do this, do that, listen to this, don't go to this place. You allowed yourself to explore. That exploration is very critical as we consciously evolving and as businesses as evolving. So the first phase is to awaken the leadership. We do it through one-on-one coaching. We do it through offsite. For example, this year in April, I facilitated an executive offsite at Yahoo Corporation in Sunnyvale. And we took a group of about 15 executives through a whole process of emotional awakening, mental awakening, physical awakening. And then there's different guidelines on how to do that. But what happened at the end of that, I received email from people and calls who say this was one of the most profound experiences they've had in the business world. So what I'm trying to say is the awakening of a business to understand who they are, the impact they have on the world, and how they want to treat people, partners, what kind of product they want to bring to the world is really, really important. Now, once they realize their power and they realize that everything they do really impacts life and impacts the awakening of the planet, they start developing products that facilitate that. And this is the new age that we're going to enter. I have to tell you, my vision, and when I opened, like I mentioned, the Akashic Records, my vision is as we are entering the consciousness age, companies that are bringing more consciousness to the planet will be the one that will be most successful. For example, look at Google. Look at all those companies that are bringing, and in a way, Google, it's bringing more consciousness. You know why? Because it's allowing everybody from the planet access information at any time, from any place. As long as it's allowing more consciousness, the universe will support its emergence. And Google, if you look at the first line in Google's vision mission, the group of people who founded Google, you know what they talk about? Do no evil. Google has tremendous, beautiful programs on how to support their employees, how to give them freedom, how to enhance creativity, how to bring more awareness and contemplative practices into the workplace, how to support the planet and have different programs. So, I mean, I can go on and on and on what other companies are doing, though the core message that I want to leave you, the Ellen, and to also the people who are listening, the core message is we are entering a new age. That age is based on consciousness. It's not based on money. It's not based on machines. It's not based on information processing. It's based on consciousness. And consciousness creates reality. The more people realize it and the more we actually build businesses to create machines and to create elements that support that, the more conscious we'll become, the more we'll be able to access and travel through time, travel to other dimensions, talk with our friends on the Pleiadians. I mean, talk with everybody, but we will not be able to do that if we don't have the personal consciousness awakening and the collective systemic awakening, which right now is actually happening by the collapse of the old archaic economic system that are no longer serving us.
I totally agree with everything you're saying. I think, personal awakening is key in the sense that it's nothing you can learn. It's something that has to happen by the divine will, in a sense. We have to have this personal awakening because we've made ourselves available to it, and we're open to the possibility that it can happen.
Yes.
And what else do we need to have for this personal transformation to take place?
So, okay, I can share from my own experience what happened.
Please, that's most powerful, your own experience, yes.
Yes. So, what have been happening for me the last few years is there was a deep melancholic dissatisfaction with life. Life as it is was really not working for me anymore. And Alan, I did all of the things that an average American would do. I started businesses, relationships, investments, traveling. I did all of that. And there was a deep essence that was missing. And you know what was missing, Alan? What was missing is my connection with my soul. What is a soul? A soul is your essence print. Every person, every plant, every mineral, everything around us has an essence. And when we are walking around in this world not connected to that essence, we are really doing a disservice for life and a disservice for ourselves. So
how did you connect with your essence? How did that happen for you personally?
Great. How did it happen? First of all, I couldn't leave everything behind and just say, okay, I don't want to do work anymore. I don't want to go to work anymore. I don't want to do all those investment, all those fake relationships. I'm done. I want to become a hermit. I couldn't do that because I had to continue operate in society. Though what I started doing, I started meditating. I started allowing life to take me to places that will lead me to my awakening. Like I said again, the consciousness age, it's an emergence process. It's not a forcing. Let's see how can I use that. The word emergence is really critical. So what I did is I started to surrender. As challenging as it is, and whoever knows me knows that for me to surrender, it's really hard because I like to plan, I like to architect, I like to design my life, and I don't want to have surprises. What do you mean to surrender? So I started actually becoming a practitioner of surrender practices, how to surrender to life.
Well, like how? How do you surrender? How did you do that?
I started participating in different ecstatic dance, meditation.